Welcome back to another episode of Extremely Mainstream Gaming. This video was originally going to be about a certain JRPG, but since my last project ended up taking very slightly longer than expected, I've opted to look at something considerably shorter, specifically a game called Terra Incognita, not to be confused with Terra Incognita, or Terra Incognita. The Terra Incognita I'm talking about is a Yaroze game, which, in case you don't remember, was a special version of the PS1 with a dev kit for writing your own software. The official UK PlayStation magazine included one or two of them on their cover disc each month, which is why I have this. This game was developed by Team Fatal, aka 3 guys from Japan, which is why the original version was only available in Japanese, a language I'm not very good at. Kore wa ringo desu ka? Fortunately, the international release does support English as well, even if the translation is somewhat imperfect. I'm not going to complain about that though. It's not like any of us would do a better job if the roles were reversed, and at least the developers understand how cardinal directions work. Now, assuming you don't have a copy of this one particular demo disc from April 1998, you might be wondering how you can play this game, before the rest of this video spoils things for you. Well, you could download a Yaroze compilation disc from archive.org and run it in an emulator, if you don't mind solving some technical difficulties, or you could just download the PC version, I guess, but then you wouldn't get to experience the original music. Prepare your gunpowder because it's time for the plot. You are Terrence Incognito, an adventurer with exactly one friend, who sails with you to a strange island and then immediately regrets doing so. It turns out that this island has treasure in it, protected by a powerful beast. For some reason your companion doesn't want to hang around for too long, can't imagine why, so you agree to arrive back at the ship within 1 hour. That's why the game has a time limit, you see. So now that we know why we're here, it's time to actually play the game. Welcome to Minecraft, the game where you pick up cubes and place them somewhere else. If you haven't played before, you can learn the controls by reading this sign, which tells you the button you'll need to press in order to read signs. You can jump with X button,
X ボタンでジャンプできます。
with the shoulder buttons being used to control the camera. You thought I was going to use the P2 camera clip here, didn't you? Don't worry, I would never. Ha, psych! Our first action is to immediately go back the way we came, so that we can open this chest and obtain an additional heart vessel. What does this remind me of? Oh yeah, the HP Plus materia from Final Fantasy VII. I wonder if the developers are familiar with that. Collecting heart vessels is completely optional, and although you'll probably want to get as many as you can, doing so takes time, which, as mentioned previously, you don't have a lot of, so deciding whether or not you want all of them is completely up to you. However, they're not the only things you can find in chests. There are also keys, which are required to progress, and recovery potions to undo the damage you'll take from slimes, acid pits, or bombs. Speaking of which, we've arrived at the Demolitions Training Area. Take Bomb. It's difficult, but you can use it to destroy the block in the center of the room, giving us 2 crates with which to build a staircase. There are 4 ways to leave this room, one of which is inaccessible, and one of which is the way we came in. Don't go through that one, by the way, or else you'll have to do the bomb throwing part again. This leaves us with 2 possible choices: the actual way forward or the optional block pushing puzzle, which takes a few minutes to solve and can be messed up right at the very end. Oh well, guess I'd better leave and re-enter so that I can start over from the beginning. Good thing I'm not under some kind of time constraint. In order to progress further, we're going to need to get past the Danger Pit, a fun platforming challenge over the Swamp of Aeonia. Just be careful not to fall in. Our goal is to reach the center platform, upon which we find a unique slime enemy. Rather than kill it, we need to jump on top of its projectiles, which function as platforms that carry us over to the other side of the chasm. So all we need to do is press jump with the correct timing. Okie dokie Literature Club. We've finally made it across, and it only took a few tries. Now we can move on to... Wait, I forgot about the room with the slime riding puzzle. Guess I'm gonna do all of that again. Anyway, we've arrived at the ruins. Unfortunately, the entrance is not exactly wheelchair accessible, so we need to build a crate staircase. There aren't quite enough of them to reach the top, so we're going to need to use a bomb. Please don't tell OSHA. Now that we're stuck up here, we can finally enter the temple itself. Welcome to the Void. It has new music and also flame traps, between which you can find a chest containing a recovery item. How generous of the game to give that to me. I wonder why it would do that. Oh, hello. It's time to fight a very big monster.
A big monster?
A big monster.
That's right, this game has a boss encounter, something notably absent from the original version. He has 3 attacks, spinning, stomping, and breathing fire, and only takes damage if you hit him between the eyes. You have to do this like 9 times, and you'll take damage if you get too close. So I hope you brought enough recovery items, otherwise you might have some problems. Anyway, once he explodes, we're free to move on and collect our prize, the golden pedestal. That's not what that word means. Now we just need to carry it all the way back to the ship. Man, it sure is getting late. I sure do hope we won't have to do any more puzzles on the way back. Oh. After solving this on the first attempt, I promise, we find ourselves back in the 4-way bomb room we passed through earlier. From here, it should be a simple case of retracing our steps back to the starting point, though I should warn you that the pedestal disappears if you leave a room without it, so try not to do that. After all, you'd feel pretty silly losing it after getting this far, right? You know, I don't think that alas is the 4-letter word I would choose here. So yeah, this game was pretty good. I wonder if those guys ever went on to make any other games. Nah, probably not.